Hi, I am Iggy, the brave warrior overlord of the immune system. I guard my family, the cells of the immune system, very closely. I carry as a symbol of my protection, immunoglobulin in my syringe, my sword, and my shield carries my heraldic symbol, the mighty antibody. Tito, Pete, Beth, Nick, Macy and Nina, my loyal servants dwell in my keep and take care of it. Keep in medieval times was a fortified tower or castle, which was used for living in defense. Keeps were often the safest place to be. Come on, let me introduce you to them.
Hello there, I'm Tito, a super special type of white blood cell called a T cell. My job? Oh, it's really important. I keep your body safe from icky viruses and fungi. You see those funny things hanging off me in my selfie? Those are my T cell receptors. They help me figure out what's going on around me, especially if there's anything yucky that could harm your body, dangerous organisms. I was born in a place called the bone marrow along with my other immune system buddies. But I left pretty early to go to a place near your heart called the thymus to grow and learn. That's why they call me a T cell. I have a big family, split into two major groups, the CD4 and CD8 T cells, though I have other cousins and such. We all have different jobs in fighting infection, protecting against creepy crawlies that cause infections, tumors and doing all sorts of other stuff to keep your body safe and healthy. When you were little, your thymus was super busy making lots of us, T cells. But as you got older, it started to chill out a bit, slow down, which is totally normal. But here's the thing, during your early life, and even later, if something stops us T cells from growing and there aren't enough of us, you might get sick a lot. And some of those sicknesses, usually from viruses, fungi, or sneaky germs, can be really dangerous, depending on how many of us T cells are around to fight them off. Sometimes, when you're very young, there can be problems in your DNA. Those are your genes, which stop T cells like me from developing properly. This can lead to a serious condition called severe combined immunodeficiency or SCID. That sounds scary, I know, but the amazing doctors can treat this by putting in new bone marrow cells that can make T cells and other cells of the immune system, or by fixing the bad gene using a fantastic thing called gene therapy. To learn more about SCID, check out the story of Daria. She's a real brave one.
Hey there, it's me, Beth. Just like Tito, I'm part of the cool lymphocyte family, but we like to call ourselves B cells. Tito thinks he's the boss of the immune system, but guess what? I'm super important too, especially when it comes to dealing with nasty bugs, like bacteria. Just like Tito, my journey begins in the bone marrow. But, unlike him, I do most of my growing up right there. Then it's off to the big wide world for me. I go to school outside the bone marrow, in places called lymph nodes, or in tonsils, in the gut, or even elsewhere in the body. It all depends on what my special job is. My grandpa, Pete the plasma cell, you'll meet him soon, has this cool protein factory where he makes these important proteins that help us fight infections. They're called immunoglobulins. Tito's family isn't the only one with special skills. We B cells have a bunch of awesome jobs in the immune system too. If we're not around, the body really misses us. Sometimes, if there are mistakes in the DNA, those are genetic defects, we can't grow up properly and it affects our whole family. This makes the body more likely to get bacterial infections, especially in the upper and lower respiratory tract, like sinus and ear infections, or pneumonia. But here's the good news: when we B cells are having trouble, the treatment usually doesn't involve replacing the bone marrow with new cells. The body can still fight infections if the missing or low immunoglobulin protein is replaced. And guess what? The immunoglobulin that helps fight infections can be given as injections every few weeks. Just ask Donnie.
Hi there, I'm Beth's grandpa, but you can call me a plasma cell. You might be wondering why I call myself a grandpa. Well, it's because in the world of cells, I'm the last stage in the life of a B cell. That's like being a grandpa in cell years. My most important job is to make something called antibodies, or immunoglobulins. These little warriors help your body fight off any nasty bugs that might make you sick. But sometimes, some people's bodies can't make enough of these brave little soldiers. When that happens, doctors give them extra antibodies from outside, through something called intravenous or subcutaneous immunoglobulin therapy. It's a big word, but it just means getting some help to keep their body strong and healthy. Iggy the IG Knight carries around immunoglobulin in his syringe, that is his sword. You can see he also has a picture of an immunoglobulin on his shield. He is a warrior, that is why.
Kaboom. Hi, I'm Nick the Ninja, but you can call me the NK cell. I also belong to the lymphocyte family. Now, you might be wondering, what do I do? Well, I'm like the superhero of your body, always battling against those nasty viruses. But that's not all. Sometimes, I team up with my cousins, the T cells, to take down cancer, just like in your favorite superhero movies. We're always on the lookout for any bad guys trying to cause trouble, detecting potential cancer development. Now, I know what you're thinking. Compared to the famous T and B cells, I barely make it into the spotlight. But hey, that doesn't mean I'm any less important. Sure, I may only come to the rescue when those pesky herpes viruses or other viral infections show up, but I'm just as crucial to keeping you healthy. Each of us lymphocytes have our own special missions, but together, we make the perfect team.
Hey y'all, I'm not a lymphocyte, but I'm just as important. I'm the first one on the scene when there's trouble, like the EMTs you see zooming around in the ambulance, sirens blaring, lights flashing. They are the first on the scene to tackle whatever mess there is to clean up. I'm called a neutrophil, a member of the large family of white blood cells. Like my lymphocyte relatives, I fight off icky bacteria and yucky fungi. And I'm always ready to lend a hand to my lymphocyte buddies. But if I'm not around, absence due to certain genetic defects, things can get pretty messy with boils called abscesses and tissue growths, called granulomas.
Hey, have you ever heard about me? I'm a macrophage, which is a fancy way of saying I'm a big eater. I'm part of the immune system, working hard with my buddies, the lymphocytes, to keep you safe from nasty infections. When I'm feeling a bit under the weather and can't do my job right, providing support for my T-cell partners, some tricky bugs might sneak in, mycobacterial infections like tuberculosis and other infections. But, hey, sometimes me and my family can get a bit too excited, hyperactive, and make a mess, causing widespread inflammation, kind of like spilling a bowl of soup or creating a cytokine storm, like a thunderstorm but within the body. And when we get too carried away we might even start gobbling up other cells, which is a big no-no. That's when you get something called hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, HLH. It's a big word, but all you need to know is that I'm here, working hard to keep you healthy and happy.